I'm going to introduce a really, truly irreplaceable power in Save Coney Island. I don't know how many emails and phone calls I've gotten from this fella, but just through that effort alone, I feel like I know him. Please welcome to the microphone, Juan Rivero.
How you guys doing? I'm Juan Rivera from Save Coney Island, and you know, if you ask 1,000 people about Coney Island, you're going to get 1,000 different stories and 1,000 different reasons why Coney Island must be preserved as an affordable amusement destination. And I myself can do no better than to share with you some of the different comments and stories that we compiled during our petition drive. So here are a few. Coney Island is the Grand Central Station and the Brooklyn Bridge of amusement parks in America. Alan Solomon. It is a wild carnival place, but it has a rich history, and it should be preserved and continued and celebrated, not destroyed. Jacqueline Underwood. I like this one. When our daughter was 2 years old in 1957, we brought her to Coney Island, and we shall never forget her comment. Everything I love is here. Rita Breschneider. Finally, please save New York City history. We're not just a city of commerce, we're a city of stories. Harry Wagner. And these are the stories that everyone who has anything to do with a plan for Coney Island should have foremost in their mind. The first step in this plan has to be the recognition that Coney Island is a historic amusement destination that has bound together generations of New Yorkers of all backgrounds and incomes.
That's right.
To look at the plan now, however, you would think that this has been all but forgotten. Coney Island, throughout the world, is synonymous with seaside outdoor amusements. So what does this plan do? It shrinks amusements to a narrow little strip of land, and then they tell you that is enough. Well, that is enough for whom? And that is enough for what? Why should the New Yorkers make do with this vestigial little park when right now there are 60-plus acres zoned for outdoor amusements? Why should we let them turn this place that was once known as the playground of the world into something the size of a children's playground? You know, all over the globe you have these parks that people have built that pay tribute to Coney Island. Here we have the real thing, and we're about to let them shrink it into oblivion.
No, we're not. Say no to rezoning. Yeah.
Yes. You know, and the city justifies this shrinkage by telling you, amusements, we have to cover them up and make them year-round because otherwise they would just not be viable. Let's think about that for a second. The beach is seasonal. The school year is seasonal. Tourism is seasonal. You would think that if you were formulating a plan for Coney Island, you would do your darnest to make sure that this high season would be the most spectacular thing anywhere. Instead, what this plan does is try to overcome that seasonality. This is as absurd as saying, let's cover up Central Park to increase winter attendance. And here's the funny part. People go to Central Park in the winter.
Right.
And they go to Tivoli Gardens in Copenhagen in the winter. And they go to Union Square. And they go to Coney Island. If you look at old pictures of Coney Island, it was packed with people. People will go if they're given a reason to go. And that reason will never be a mall and a hotel. And that brings us to the plan's final insult. The high-rises. Coney Island is about coming out of that station and being dazzled by a display of amusements. It is about seeing Coney Island's past in its remaining historic buildings like Nathan's. And here's a plan that says, let's destroy all that. Let's eliminate all those historic buildings on the south side of Surf Avenue, and let's visually block off the amusements, the beach, and the boardwalk. That just... I will spare you the embarrassment of listening to the rationalizations for this absurd plan. Suffice it to say that during this public review process, the city has yet to share an illustration of what this marvel would look like. We don't really care anymore who came up with this absurd idea. We don't really need them to apologize to New York. We don't even need them to go into self-imposed exile. All we want is for those cursed hotels to be taken from Surf Avenue and removed and put somewhere else. And it is frankly infuriating that this plan is presented as a compromise. You know, in a compromise, you give something and then you get something back. And here you have people all over New York who love Coney Island amusements, who are seeing these amusements shrunk, covered, blocked off, their future potential squandered, and all for nothing. The city still has a plan to fix this plan. And we have the hope and the expectation that it will do so. Because after all, you wouldn't want your legacy to be that of destroying Coney Island amusements, of destroying an iconic place, when instead you could go down in history as someone who invested in the future of Coney Island, someone who restored Coney Island to its rightful place, and someone who saved it for future generations. So the city should fix its plan, and if it cannot fix this plan, it should have the perspective and the humility to kill the plan and try again. Because it makes no sense to push this through at all costs when the cost will be the destruction of Coney Island forever. Increase the open-air amusements, get rid of those damn hotels, save Coney Island. Thank you.